Gemini, love doesn't come knocking this week. I feel like it kicks down the flippin' door. This is welcome to Channel the Future Tarot, and this is going to be for the Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs of Gemini. Take what resonates with you and toss the universe what does not. It's not meant for you, and that's okay. I am going to use a singing bowl, taking that deep breath in, and then exhaling whenever you feel so inclined to do so. That's just going to help balance your energy, set your intentions, and prepare for the messages, okay? Let's get started. Alexa, volume down. Peace, love, health, and wealth. Alexa, volume down. Alright, as we come sort of into your energy, wow, Gemini, I feel like there's a lot of messages. We're going to do something completely different this week. We're going to do the Tower Tarot spread, side note. And I'll explain that for you in a sec after we break in what I kind of uncovered in meditation for you. And then we'll jump into what the Tower Tarot spread is. And it's, don't be feared. It's not a thing to be alarmed about. It's just, we all need that Tower card in our moment in our life from time to time. And I feel like as a collective, we're sort of self-initiating that for ourselves right now. So I want to take a spread and look at what that means for each side. So we will do that in just a sec. 12, slow and steady in reverse. Now for me, I feel like as I was coming into this, I did feel like this was an energetic, love connection that is kind of went stale or stuck in a sense for some of you. Maybe one that's been sort of, like I said, just feeling quite stagnant. And now this won't be for all of you, but that's sort of the energy that I really was. It's not a love reading, and I wasn't, meant to pick up. I didn't feel like I was, sitting down with the intent to do so, but if it came, it came. Now, pushing things forward with that slow and steady in reverse kind of impulsively kind of indicates that you're kind of preventing success, but potentially causing more trouble than you're prepared to handle. So, moving too quickly, it yields unripe fruit, right? And I feel like, and it has a very bitter taste, so I want you to sort of slow down, meditate if you can on this energy. You're human doing not, you're not a human doing, you're a human being, right? So everything was going to work out if you can just apply the brakes, become more aware of what's happening in the moment. Calm, focus on the now, breathing in the surroundings, just take that deep breath, right? Gentle gardener, and this is why I feel like it's a relationship, because I feel like this is you watering, your relationship, putting the work in here. Oftentimes, and no matter how long we're together, we get in a relationship and we just forget that it still requires work, it still requires flirtatious energy, and then it goes stagnant. We're like, well, why did it all go wrong? Yeah, this is that watering your garden, planting the seeds, putting it to fruition, putting in the work and towards your relationship. Coming together is very important here, and this is the card you got. It's a true union. That's what I feel like. There's a sense of you're coming back together here. This is there's a sort of recreation of passion that's happening here, and I do like that for you as well. Love needs to be expressed, right? And so I feel like you're on the path to discover what that is for you in terms of, instant, like giving and taking between you and your partner, right? This is assuring you that love is definitely coming, calling, and is seeking a partner in you, right? So I feel like you're attracting love into your life right now in a harmonious energy. We also got this the inner sense coming out for you as well, Gemini. It says, today as I quiet the noise in my mind, I become aware of the voice of my heart. I listen closely to my inner voice. I trust myself and develop confidence in my intuition. My inner truth is divine truth, and I allow it to influence and guide me every day. This is, again, right, you're following your innocence, but that image sort of, I feel like, is almost showing, you with your partner. Very, new prevalent time coming in. Your moon energy, as we know, that full moon in Libra is today when I'm recording this reading, depending on where you are on the globe, but this is a new, start that's coming, new moon energy coming in. And after this full moon, we will have that new moon. So by the time of this time and the new moon, there's going to be some new start culminating to being. There's a new, increased passion. Hold your vision also came out for you. That fixed moon, focus on what you're wanting to build here and create it. Now you also have that fiery climax approaches that full moon in Aries, and I feel like that could be the start of the passion, whether we're in that full moon in Aries or Libra right now. This is a really powerful energy for you to connect with this week, Gemini. And, you know, I feel like you guys are keeping each other wanting more. It's quite a powerful energy. You're like a human version of a sugar rush, is sort of what I keep getting here for some of you. Now, we're going to take a look at this Tower Tarot spread. It's almost like a tongue twister. And how it comes out. So the first 4 cards, 1 to 4, are going to represent the structure. And that's going to be what, number 1 is going to be what foundational beliefs, principles, or structures that are being challenged for you. Number 2 will be why. Number 3 will be how you can sort of ease that transition. Number 4 is what the lesson is in the shake-up for you. And cards 5 to 7 are going to represent that lightning strike, right? And that's going to be, 5 is going to represent that release. 6 is rethinking. And 7 is, well, the rebuild, of course. So we will also clarify that. So let's see what's coming in for the Tower Tarot card for Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sides of what? Foundational beliefs, principles, or structures is being challenged for Gemini. For Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. All right. 9 of Swords card. This deck isn't read in reverse, so we're just going to take them as, if they come out in reverse, we'll just straighten them out. That 9 of Swords coming out, worry, anxiety. So what, you know, again, what is being stripped away and challenged here is your worry about something. We can worry all day long about stuff, and it can cause stress. It can be very detrimental to our health. So you could be looking at what your, you know, the worry, what is around your sleepless nights here. Why is this coming out for Gemini? Why is the 9 of Swords being challenged for Gemini? Okay, got that 5 of Pentacles. It could be around money or wealth, poverty mindset. That is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. It could be that you're going to get abandoned by your partner as well, for some of you. How can Gemini ease this transition? How can Gemini ease this transition? How can Gemini ease this transition? By pausing and going within, that Hermit card, Virgo energy, taking that moment of reflection, that moment of stillness, right? So that we can get that inner wisdom here that's really apparent for you, that's needed. There's also a double 9s out for you. Okay, what is the lesson in this shake-up for Gemini? What is the lesson in this shake-up for Gemini? Pardon? That 4 of Pentacles, it could be rooted, again, in money, belief system, structures here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, holding too tightly onto something is very sort of apparent here. What does Gemini need to release in this Tower moment? What is Gemini releasing in this Tower moment? What is Gemini releasing in this Tower moment? 6 of Swords, rite of passage, okay? You're definitely, the past is what you're releasing. You're letting go of something. Whether it is in terms of your relationship, could be thought patterns, just beliefs, or just, you know, finally letting go of some sort of anger that you've held on to for some time. What does Gemini need to rethink? What does Gemini need to rethink? What does Gemini need to rethink? Okay. That Knight of Cups, a decision, you know, emotional pace decision going forward. I want to say you're sort of offering to your partner of your own sort of heart and cup. You need to sort of rethink how you're going about doing that. And sort of what it is in the investment. What is the rebuild for Gemini here? What is the rebuild for Gemini? What is that rebuild for Gemini? The Ace of Wands coming out. So an opportunity, passion here. That's what's in your rebuild. And I think that was indicated earlier. I feel like they're, in a sense, you're really discovering your passion for your partner again. That lust for love is coming back, essentially. The Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck as well. We're going to clarify this quickly before we break this all down here. Can I clarify that 9 of Swords for Gemini, please? clarifying the Nine of Swords for Gemini, please. Yeah, we got the Star card coming out in reverse. So, that hope, you lost hope in terms of the worries that you just totally lost hope. You can't, I feel like you can't even see in some sort of way through the situation. I feel like you're very hurt here. And you're trying to sort of, you know, you're really questioning your worth in the past or in the recent past, I think, for some of you, even currently now. Can I clarify that Five of Pentacles for Gemini? The sleepless nights is causing you just more and more worry during the day, I feel like, because you're not getting to the root of the reason here. That Five of Pentacles, that poverty mindset, that Queen of Swords in reverse. You're not getting to the root of your mind's running 24/7, 24/7, but it's on the repeating patterns of thought, right? You're not getting any new perspective, I don't think, and that's what's leading you to that stuck or stagnant energy. You know what? Can you clarify that Hermit card? That's what you need to do to ease your pain, is some solitude, some inner truth, but not so much so that you're kind of, you know, you need to get out of your head and into your heart. I want to say that, Gemini. Clarifying that Hermit for Gemini. This pause and moment isn't going to be for you to worry more. I feel like this is a sense of working through the worry and understanding that it really isn't holding a lot of purpose for you at this time. It's kind of serving it in a lot of negative energy for you. The Justice card is coming out in reverse. That imbalance, that Libra energy, there's a, you know, this, you can ease this by focusing on what needs to be balanced here. Clarifying that Four of Pentacles. What is the lesson here that's in the shakeup for Gemini? Clarifying that Four of Pentacles. That Ten of Swords in reverse. Okay, so betrayal, you know, the lesson here is, you know, somebody probably could have indicated, I feel like, money that could be the reason that they sort of, if you feel stabbed in the back, I feel like maybe they betrayed you in some way. This, you know, your foundational systems within yourself. Four is a foundation. Can I clarify that Six of Swords for Gemini? Whew, this is a Tower card if I've ever seen one, right? This is really what's being, you know, ripped, the worries, the structures, systems, the people that have been kind of causing you a lot of animosity, you know, is wreaking havoc here. The Four of Cups here, disappointment, that's what you need to release here, that disappointment, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that constant belief, you know, just holding on to that, what they did wrong, you know, holding on to the fact that they just didn't, you know, follow through on what they said they were going to do. Clarifying that Knight of Cups for Gemini. And that's left you with a really bitter taste in your mouth for some of you, right? That Eight of Wands, I feel like, yeah, right? That's what is needing to be rethinked. The way you sort of, you know, the way you put things into the universe, right? That's just having you're letting the universe take over, right? And that's kind of like Jesus take wheel card for me, because that Eight of Wands is just putting something on the universe and seeing what happens, right? And believing and trusting the universe has got your back. So I feel like that's what you're rethinking, how rigid your control has been in some ways. Can I clarify that Ace of Wands? And sort of, you know, understanding that we cannot continue to keep going, you know, we have to eventually just, you know, let go of some control. Believe that the universe has got its best interests at heart, our best interests at heart for us. Temperance coming out here in the rebuild. You're needing to balance emotions here, head and heart. The Hangman on the bottom of the deck, like I said, there's a real sense of needing to go within, Gemini. It isn't a bad thing to get perspective or just to get some intuitive guidance from our own internal systems. We get so stuck up in a world full of thought and fight or flight modes, and we often don't understand what is sort of a happening energy, right? And I feel like this is, the Nine of Swords is a card of diffusion for me. You know, we might not be able to, you know, stop the occurrence of those difficult thoughts, right? Feelings or sensations. We can learn to step back from them, you know, as to diminish the power that they have over us and that behavior, right? So I feel like a decrease in you know, believability, right? Or attachment, right, to private events rather than that immediate change in their frequency, right? The next time you feel like the person in the Nine of Swords does, sitting up in bed, you know, is getting poked and prodded ruthlessly by the sharp blades of anxious or despairing thoughts. You can make some space, right? Here are some things to, you know, I feel like you could consider, right? You know, ask yourself who these thoughts serve and in whose or what house do they worship, right? Narrate the story of your mind in the present, right? Say, my mind is saying I'm going to fail this test tomorrow, or my mind is saying, you know, no one's ever going to love me. Thank your mind for being, you know, on the job 24/7 and acknowledge, you know, it's doing its best to protect you, and then sort of allow it to just get the power back over the control over the thoughts, because the thoughts are causing, like I said, the essential loss of hope here, the restriction in your own mind, you know, the belief that it could get better, because you're, again, really causing a sequence of negative events with those thoughts, right? You're lacking faith in yourself and the universe around you, right? Go within, again, reconnect to that inner source. Rather than looking outside for anything else, outside for help, it's not going to benefit you. I feel like really right now, this is the time for you to sit within and say, okay, this is where we need to get down to the nitty gritty of it. Look at what's causing all this pain, you know, and why this is happening, because the Five of Pentacles, you know, the present moment's not always the best place to be. And it takes some skill to be here. And I feel like there's a sense for you to be in the present moment, no matter how painful it is. You know, if one day you woke up and got everything you ever wanted and needed was right in front of you, but you didn't know how to live in the present moment, it wouldn't be worth nothing, right? So leaving the present might be somewhat, you know, I feel like this is a defense that blocks us from absorbing what is truth in the now. We can't, you know, we deflect from the now. We can't, you know, because I feel like these barriers, you know, in another time and place protected us, right? These are, and they helped us survive a long time ago, but you don't need them anymore, right? Maybe you didn't have a better way to be safe in the past, right? But you do now. The present moment can often, you know, and can and often does contain pain, but when we leave what we need now to cope, right, perhaps you realize that, yeah, you're kind of safe. You can open yourself up. Now, whether this has been a job or personal place, the universe is teaching you that what you've needed to cope to survive now is no longer needed. You need to kind of let that go. Queen of Swords, and it is hard to do so because you've learned those as a survival skills, fight or flight, you know, at the end of the day, and you're like, well, now how the hell do I just put that down? I bet I've spent my whole life, you know, yielding these skills, so you're sort of, you know, so that others didn't dominate you, and I feel like you feel like it's showing weakness right now, and I feel like you could be allowing your emotions to get the better of you, Gemini, this week. Reconnect with your inner strength to create that positive change so that it doesn't cause a bigger muck in your situation. This Hermit card is saying do just that, right? This is how you can ease the transition through this moment, is just to go within, get to, you know, the source of what's going on and sort of pause, reflect, and balance. You know, I feel like the Hermit's peace does not represent a destination or a fixed place. It's a flux state that one comes in and out of, right? And I feel like this is why the Hermit's always pictured walking, because this is a metaphor for, you know, the way the person is at peace with that flux state of reality. The Hermit sort of says, hey, be at peace here. This is why the Tower's coming card is coming in for you. It needs to be, you know, that you can find that peace within yourself, and so that you can move forward in a different way, because this is holding you back on an epic scale here, because you just can't see the way through it. You know, your idea of truth is distorted with this Justice in reverse. I feel like look at the situation, again, from multiple perspectives, uncover the real truth. Again, forgive yourself if you're making any misguided choices or decisions that you've made, and everybody else involved. Nobody's been making them with, you know, the entire amount of information at hand. The lesson is being caused because the shakeup in what your belief system is necessary. That Four of Pentacles is coming to say you've been holding too tightly on it, whether it's money, you know, career, a job, a person, whatever it is that you've been holding a little bit too rigidly tight of. You know, this is the Four of Pentacles is what blocks you, right? It resonates, you know, it's the fact that you've even identified with something as a block right here. I feel it could be, you know, it's a clear sign movement is happening, right? Hitting a wall is only possible if you're trying to move in a particular direction, and there's a great power in the desire to move forward, right? So The desire in of itself is like that protest, a statement of declaration that you're not okay with being constrained anymore in this particular way, and you most certainly don't plan to shape a life around it. So you have to change the way we understand and relate with, you know, being that stories don't mirror life, they shape it, right? And this is sort of what I feel like is happening for you right now. You're mirroring and shaping the Ten of Swords. You have to drop this set of belief system that you're just designed to be through, going through this pain, right? You're resisting change and painful endings here, and that's why this is the lesson here that's happening for you. Because you don't want to face what's really happening. It's time to sort of rip off that bandage, Gemini. Get over this. You can start fresh and anew. You can rebuild. You can go towards the Six of Swords, which is what you need to release, the past, and go towards the future. There's a present, a rite of passage happening for you, but only if you can be willing to take it. The Four of Cups is just, yeah, you've been focusing on the disappointing pain, the letdown of, you know, whether a job, sorry, person, place, or thing, right? This is a sense of, okay, I have to address that disappointment for what it is. Rethinking how you're opening up yourself, your heart to the people. Don't just open, you know, wide open hand out your, you know, your cup to anybody here. And I feel like you're really looking at what you can do. Sort of, yes, you're going forward. You're going to do that in a very diplomatic way, but you're also rethinking your strategy in terms of, you know, what you're putting out there into the universe. You're just letting the universe do its will here and then see what happens. And I think that's a positive step forward. You're rebuilding something with passion. Look at your beautiful rebuild there. This is a new, you know, bigger, better, more dreamier life than you've ever anticipated. And it's going to come with a sense of moderation, hope, and balance here. Balancing your inner heart, your emotions. And that's only going to come when you're sort of really sort of letting down that version of yourself that has been restricted for so long, right? You keep them wanting more. That's how legends are made, kind of energy, and that's what you're doing. Your love doesn't come knocking this week. I feel like whatever it is going to bang down the door for you, Gemini. This is a powerful time of release. Until next time, namaste.